I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is July 9th, Wednesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So we've been talking about pushing up here. As you can see, I would like it to just go straight up, but they decided to come back into this 1 hour imbalance that I have highlighted already and take out that guy right there. So obviously the general gist is a retracement and a push back up. We're getting this higher high, higher low situation, but in this case, you know, they're making it tough and they're being stubborn. I talked about time distortion if you watched these videos. So super fire, we're going to jump right into it here. So here you can see that we have, again, detailing that the levels that we're going to need or use is going to be all here in this weekly gap. And then we also have those highs that we've been discussing in the green, right? So as you could see, when I made the video here up top left, you can see on the 4 hour here that we what's it called? Yeah, well, obviously you don't see the 1 hour imbalance here, but this guy came in to snag that guy right there. But the bodies are sitting on, this is the all-time high in the dark green, and then this was the all-time high that we just hit. Those are, I shouldn't even have to do that and explain, but you'll see this lighter. So this is the previous month's high. Okay, so that's why this is like key, that you can see the bodies sitting here. You can see the green line right there, right? You can see that the bodies are sitting there. And pretty much, look on the 1 minute, you can see it sitting there and then wicking down. Look at this. Well, I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, well, that was really what I wanted to say. And then this weekly gap over here wasn't an interest because, again, we're wanting to see that weekly empty, stay empty, and then tag the high that I made very clear of where the target was, right? So in that case, if I'm playing that role, here you can see that this wick, boom, tags down right to the bottom 25%. Problem is, for me, I was only ready at 9:30. I did see all of this with this inversion. When they wicked this, I thought that was really bogus, but I wasn't prepared to take a trade or anything. And sure enough, they sneaked their way up to get here. And then when they open, why am I using this as the first imbalance? Because if you look at the regular trading hours, we're above yesterday's highs, right? So we're opening above those highs. That's the rule of taking the 9:30. But so then it just shoots off. When it shoots off like this, you only got two options. You can either be a momentum trader and push buy, or get into every closed 1 minute candle. That's your entry. Every closed 1 minute candle, all right? Look at that. As you see, that's your best entries while it's shooting up. Right, goes right to the high. Now, here's the reason why I pushed this sell. And this is a phenomenal sell. And very few people on the internet did this. And I know there were some, but you know, why are we taking this wick? Well, we've been overextended with, and especially with this push. And also, to be honest with you, two ways to look at it. It was easy to buy this, but the thing is that, and then before we even get into the rest of the conversation, you could see the opening range gap here, which is going to be very influential for today also. But the 50% is here with the 50% of the purple weekly opening gap. All right, so that's very, very key. Plus that green level as well. They're also there too. So what's the purpose of me selling this? Well, we shot straight up with no fairness whatsoever. We tagged that high, and at the least, I'm looking for a sell just to come back in here. Nothing crazy, but again, a day like this, you never know, right? With the week like this, especially the way it shot up. Now, before I continue, normally I would never sell this. Why? Because of the fact that these could be higher lows. It could be fanning up. Now, if it was to have continued going up, this fucking day would be over. Like literally over. And if I was to have been involved, then I should have been in buying these higher lows to then possibly buy up, right? Through that level. But I've been talking about high resistance, and I've been talking about ranges coming right back in and so on. I mean, very, very clear. I've been talking about it if you've been watching the videos. But then we have this bullish imbalance. I'm expecting this. First of all, it snipes up, right? And this is the 10 o'clock candle. So this 4-hour candle. So you notice how the 6 o'clock candle that closed at 10 o'clock, obviously here before, it doesn't take out that high, but the next 4-hour candle comes and tags it. So that for me is a good sign that I'm going to try to take a pull back in. Now I got this highlighted very clear. Why am I aiming at this this circle here? Because it's the previous 2 days low. See this low right here on the 6th? See, not low, sorry, high. See that level right there with the high right there? We bust through that. Yes, I understand. And they're in green. They're already highlighted. Green right there and green right there. This is also yesterday's high. So here I'm coming back to a minimum because I want to tag that level. That's specific, but it kept steamrolling down. So what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to let it roll. But obviously what's below here, I'm not brand new that you can't see that this is widely empty, right? Plus this is the first imbalance. What do? We come and tag it to the 50% like on the head for that moment, right? That's perfect. That's algorithmic. So I'm going, again, I don't expect to take a buy here either, but logically, this is a very understanding level to go to. So it keeps coming down. Okay, cool. Guess what? It drives down and it comes through and gets into what? The bottom 25%. I want to make videos short. At the time, I didn't even have the projection out yet, but I was trying to get to here, and then we luckily got to here. What did we do? Well, we made a control of price. I didn't draw this, but from here to here, you can see that's that last up candle. We dig in it once there, and then and here you can see we barely make it above again that first imbalance. It's a 2 to 2.5, but the 3.5 to 4 is right here. Can you see it? 3.5 to 4. Would I have loved to have held it down here? Yes. Should I have held it for more drives? Yes. Why didn't I do that? Because it hit this perfect level to the tick. Number one. Number two, this kind of day, I'm not trying to F around and find out, right? So that's a very basic understanding. I've already got more than I wanted in general speaking for the trade. Okay, cool. But guess what happens as more times comes into play, we're getting more drives down. We get to the 3.5 to 4. I'm measuring the entire swing that we broke. And then once we break it right here, see this break right here? And I'm already forecasting this price action. And you can see that I have the imbalance clearly marked when I took the sell. Now, I didn't need... Now, for example, this candle right here, if I'm to highlight that candle, you'll see that we pop in right here. See that? You see that? If I highlight that candle, right? See how when we break it, we come back in at 50%. We're digging in right there. Plus this up candle. See this little up candle right here? See this level? If I draw a line, see how it hits it? See how it tags it right there? You can see that, right? I don't need to go to the real chart, right? You can see that, right? And just a signature, slithering, fanning, and control of price, pushing down. Anyways, trying to get away real quick. Let me take a sip of water. Hold on. Anyway, fire. And then, look, you can see the 50% hitting right there. Comes underneath, tags it right there, and it's just gone. It's just fucking beautiful. So, what's happening here? Well, move one. Where's move two? I'm trying to sell move two. And then what am I doing here? Well, by the time it's done doing what it's doing, I'm looking for a move number 3, right? So you'll see as it comes into this 3.5 to 4, you only want to play in these areas here. You also have the 930, and if you're like, well, you know, you could have held it longer in here, but I don't need to find out if I'm right. We're already hitting this oversold, and I'm just not trying to find out. But the issue with this is that you'll take some losses if you're antsy, if you're trying to catch it. And in that case, that did happen to me. So it came to the what? 50%, and this 50% of both levels that I just talked about, plus that green line. Look at the body sitting here. So I tried to catch this, lost 2 losses here. Okay, and guess what? We get the raid. This is where you were going, you little bitch. right? Why? Because of that mother effer right there. You see that? And the whole time I was like, yo, that was really dirty the way they did that. It wasn't even fair. 9 o'clock. This is 9:01, 9:02. This little 2 down candles, and this is why I wanted to buy that, but I didn't play around and waited till 9:30 and then missed the boat. But that wick that it created, that nasty wick that this guy right here I'm talking about, they came back for it, and that's what that is right here. And plus, they are using that 25%. Oh, we'll have also another nested level there. What's that? The bottom 25% of the opening range gap in the yellow, right? See that how they're on top of each other strong, and then my entry is literally on that level? Dude, this is fire. I don't care what anybody say. And it was just coming back down. And if you look at the range from here to here, coming below 50%, you can even say from here to here. So if I was to do from here to here, this is really from that high to that low. You can see that we tag underneath 50%. I don't even need to get the real chart. You could see it. That's us coming down in here. But you can see, if you take a look for a second while we pop right up to the 50 of that first imbalance, that's algorithmic. Obviously to the 930, but the more importantly, that 50%. Bro, we tag it and we come right back down to this 50%. Tag back up to the 50%, come back down to the 50%, and notice that they take this guy out. And I'm going to do the structure real quick because I do love this. But come on, I got to make it short. And then you see how this high here and then makes that low, then we break above. So I got it highlighted as far as going up goes. I have that low, that low, and that high. You can see it, right? It's tagged on that 25%. See that? 1 and 1.5 is here, and then 2 to 2.5 is here. This was my goal for this buy, but what was I about to do? Structure. So we broke right there, and we retrace. So from this high to this low, this range. Think of range for a second, not actual candles and raids. From this area here to this area here is the higher high to higher low. But they got fucking 2 highs. They have a high underneath it, and they have a low after that low, right? That's just dirty. But it's trying to confuse you, but it's still the same logic, same story here. We come up, and then this one hits a low here, comes up, hits a low here, but it's the same range. So I'm gonna just drop it right here. Then we come up, and then this becomes the structure right there. I'm not gonna keep drawing that, but the point of me telling you this is that I understand when it came back here and what it's doing, everyone will ship bricks here, but algorithmically, take a look at what it's actually doing. And then watch from here. Watch how it pops up from this 50%, comes to the 25. Hits the top 25% opening range, bottom. Now the top 25 weekly gap, pops up, comes back to the top 25 opening range gap, comes above, all the way above, and comes all the way back right into that top 25 to the tick this. Now when this was coming down, I'm like, dude, you should have just took it. But I'm like, no, I know that they want to get into this area. Why? Because it's wide open, number one. Number two, easy sellers are selling here. I was selling, okay? And then I have the projection here of 2 to 2.5. That's why I have this circle here. What am I doing? I'm trying to buy up to it. Now, when it got to here, could I have got out? Yeah, sure. Is this worth it from here to here? Not much. I was hoping for a really big push or something, but I'm just going to squeeze out. But I'm done for the day because move 1 happened. Move 2 happened. Move 3 is next. So see what I'm doing? Very simple. I'm not making this difficult, even though the price action can get difficult, right? But when this pushed all the way back down, I was like, bro, I'm on lunch and I'm chilling. And I basically want to get out here because I'm tired of trading, to be honest. But the point is that when it got to here, I'm like, dude, this better snap up. It better snap right here. Because from this low to this high, you can see a pullback. That's a typical 61. That's basically like this. You see this on a fractal level? Remember when we made this low and this high and we retraced back and we bounced right on that 61 right there? In the previous videos I told you, this is very similar. Might be a hair lower. But the point is, what is it actually hitting? It's the top 25% opening range gap. That's perfect. It snapped to it. I remember, watched it. If you're watching it, you saw it. But it cannot come any lower in this general gist. Now, at the time, I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm like, bro, just take the profit and be done, right? But my ego wants to come to this, and I know we're most likely going to come to this. By the way, as this had a control of price with that up candle, see this little one right here? This little one right here. See this little one? Put that level right there. And you see how it's perfect? Tagging it, boom, came down. Boom, tags it, comes down. See that? That's a control of price right there. Just like that candle. It is the same understanding. You don't have a break of structure here yet. Doesn't mean I'm not still taking the trade, but I'm going to expect a break of structure. Where's the break of structure first? This low to this, and then, some will say this one. No, this made another low underneath this low. Came in and then came back down. Break. So you're going to say, you should be waiting for the break and then come back into the imbalance. Okay, sure. What if I did that? I would have been stopped out most likely for this coming back down. I'm already in it. So I'm expecting this to happen just like I was expecting this to happen. Now, should everyone do that? No. I mean, a ton of experience, balls, and, and if it's wrong immediately, like if it makes another high, like for example in this sell, like when I took the sell here and I sniped it from the fucking top, which is legendary shit. Just saying. It doesn't make a new high because that would be a different conversation. You might say, oh, what if it's just one more drive? Well, that's possibly true too, but I'm not playing with it. Just like just like the way this pushed up, I'm not chasing it. Matter of fact, I was going to quit the day. I was actually going to be done with the day and say, fuck off. I'm not even going to trade. Why? Because I'm not getting involved in that. That's crazy. That shit sucks. You try to catch this shit and you're burning yourself. But this is the target. That's why I made it an outline yesterday and drew it. Very clear. So, just all psychology as well, right? But what was I going to say here? So, yeah, man. Final extension there. Boom. Comes right in. Comes right in, buddy. Right in where I'm trying to target with the... Look at that. Boom. Tags in. Now I'm squeezing this bitch. Got stopped out. So, RSI was looking crazy at first. Super overbought. Here, that's this another reason why, for me personally, I'm taking this sell. Because normally I would want it to just go through. But from the distance from here to here, just the way they did this was just so bogus. Just period. So... coming back for a retracement was pretty logical. And then is there anything else I wanted to say besides the standard deviations? Oh, and the hint of it pushing up and just going to keep going. Again, that's my preference not to be involved. As we came down, you can see that there's that 1 hour imbalance in the bottom left that I've been highlighted. Notice how we came and we tagged it here in Asia. And then they made an equal low. Then they ran it right here. So Asia's low. That's Asia's low. But it's in incorporation with yesterday's buy that I took. And remember, I got out right up here above that liquidity. And I said I would love to hold these buys, but to come up here. But I did not do that. So that's okay. But look how we rated Asia's low right there. See that? It's very specific. That's what's going on here. And then plus those green levels that I mentioned. So yeah, man, that's really it. So we saw the raid there, right? And then you had this. Yeah, I understand, but they've already fucked. You already got fucked here. If you're in this trade, why do you think they came like this low? Because they're moving the stop. People are moving the stop here. They're out of the trade. Done. They're done. So boom, comes back, retraces. Look at the 15-minute right there. Look at that, just sitting on that 50%. Yeah, the wicks are coming down. That's what all this shit is right here. All this bullshit here. I'm trying to tag their ass, but man, too many little losses. But it's okay. Still big Beautiful moves. And then guess what? This is move 3. What if move 3 doesn't keep going and it rolls over, and move 4 rolls over and wipes all this out? What do you think this is? This is obviously a sell model, by the way. I'm not going to get into it. This is a sell model right here. So consolidation comes up, and the one they want to tag underneath it. So again, move 3 pushing up. All right. And very logical. I'm not going to hold it for this. Is it realistic to happen today? No. And that's the purpose of me getting out of this trade here. For the simple fact that I also don't want to fucking trade no more too. But and then their FOMC minutes didn't do anything. So and then you're thinking, well, what about this when it was coming down? This made me shit bricks. But you see this opening range. I'm sorry, the first imbalance. See how we're above it, below it. You see that? And when it came down, I understand that we're sitting on top of the weekly gap, right? That's a very key level. So they're just wicking in, right? I saw the emptiness of wicks here, but because my bias was stronger than this price action, even. How about that? I'm expecting to come into this area. Sure enough, we came up even higher, up to here now. Right? Just tagged this area right here. Excuse me. Which is this shit here? Because it's fucking easy sell, bro. I mean, you could have really just on the momentum side, just experience is just like. So I hope that'll make sense for you. And then we also had a nice lower low and down NAS, and then higher lows here. That was setting up the buy. When we came up here and me pushing sell, this was the reason why I also pulled that trigger as well at an all-time high like that. But we had lower highs here in S&P and Dow, right? They were far away and we tagged it. So that is also the understanding, buddy. And then we came down here, right? We came down. And then and for what's it called? I'm already in this last wick when we take out that guy right there. See that? So we already got lower low. They're all in harmony, right? Right? They push up, and then we get lower lows here with Nas. We rated that guy, and then these guys had higher lows at that time. So trades panning out. Price pushes up again. And before it does, we have a little lower low here with Dow, higher lows here. But you know, that's a little overkill. Not necessary. The goal is to get up here because of people who are selling. All right, very logical. So very logical. Push up to wipe out the sellers to the left. Sell down to wipe out the buyers to the left. Push up to wipe out the sellers to the left. That is basic flow, right? All right, not making it hard. And then I talked about, look at Dow did not come and sweep these guys. I said, would they get stuck here? And sure enough, they did. They were sitting at this last month's high, right? Yeah. And these down candles and this imbalance right there, and they didn't go any farther. And they faked the funk. Look, I was gonna sell, right? Pushed up, came into here. Okay, cool. We're bullish. We did want to see that. So that kind of did happen. And if you looked on the daily, should have mentioned this more clear yesterday. The daily was also, well, I mentioned that this could have been a possible reaching into that daily imbalance right there, which is the 27th. But then we were already inside the first of the month candle. We were already still inside there. So it held. And it came up here. Nothing else to say. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing else you can say, playa. Again, shift above that high, retrace deep. All right. And pushed up. And then this is S&P, same story. They were already sitting here. Look at the top of the gap here. You can see that they didn't even come into this. Well, they tapped it in here and they popped up and look at that. Perfect. Then pops up. All right. So, yeah, they already got all-time highs there again. There, and then, what's it called? Anyway, and pushing up. I said we're bullish. You don't make it any difficult more than that. Look at the hourly right there. Pop up. Crazy move down. And then here was the thing. when I was selling this, I'm like, dude, this is in a perfect world. I would love for it to come down here, right here, if I'm catching this out. And why do you think they did all this? It's because, yo, I'm trying to tell you, a lot of traders are involved in the market now. A lot of good traders, and they know how to make money. You see us killing it every fucking day. So why wouldn't there be a lot of people knowing how to do this, right? High resistance, they're coming all the way back. They got to get that monkey off their back. So why did they buy here? Because they're trying to scare you and then make higher lows for institutions to stick to those levels, to those areas, right? So me, I'm sniping it right there. Why? Because they've already screwed everybody here, right? But coming back in, this was a completely empty candle. This was just a straight up candle. And you're looking at this like, yo, coming back in here is very logical, right? But sure enough, fucking thing came all the way back and wiped out all of it. So this is a low, that's a higher low to a higher high range. Remember, we discussed this. Low, high, retrace, expansion, right? Transition day on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we got the expansion up. And just fire, dude. Can't make all that up, right? And then I was even mentioning yesterday that I would like for it to just push up, but it can retrace a little bit and come back up, right? But sure enough, it did come here, right? So I should be done, right? And then we were mentioning that I'd like to see it just push up because of the fact that it looks like it was just slithering up, right? And sure enough, look at that. Look at Nvidia. Other guys were something similar, but and then I show dollar, and then dollar was also given a hard time. It did pop up, got into this little gap. I'm not even drawing anything on this. I don't need to. Just logically pushing up for this breakdown, and then we're getting that hard push up. It's hard for us to push up. At that time, we were also, as you can see here, the price action here. So we were just kind of like a ceiling. We were kind of like coming down a little bit, right? So it still pushed us up, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything else to say. Now, the only thing I will say is that I wanted to hold it. Yes, I wanted to hold it longer, dude. Yes, but guess what? For what? It's like so this is the break here on this high. So I expect 1, 2, 3 drives, right? So I get out right here because you never know what's going to happen. You just don't know, right? And then this 4-hour candle, what's it called? I wasn't sure if they wanted to maybe come back down again and get into that wick. Even though, as you see, it's an immediate rebalance on that 4-hour candle. So we just literally sealed that 4-hour candle. And then obviously, let me just drag this out a little more. You can see that we were there and then we took off. And now it's just coming right back up, man. So I just didn't want to sit and hold this any longer, dude. I would just rather take the profit than be right for a new high. I wanted to make a new high, and the strategy and all that calls for it. But I also, got to make a general personal decision. So, this kind of sucked a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but we met our goal, man, and we stayed fair. We weren't greedy, and all that shit, right? So I feel like I'm missing something here. I didn't draw anything else here. Why? Because the fucking levels already are telling you the story here. I don't need to even. You could see it. You could see it. Push pause. You'll see those levels, right? And then you're having faith with it just continuously going up because that's logical from this fucking huge drop. Going up though, buddy. And look at this. Imagine this. Imagine if I took it out right here, literally right there, literally, right? And then it bounced back right to my same level. What if it kept going? It sucks. Like, okay, you got this much more points. And then guess what? Came all the way up here and came back down. Look where this low is. This low is literally kissing that same candle that I got out on the buy, right? So imagine you did this and it came back to here and you waited 2 more hours for that. That was another thing I avoided was because from here, this is it's 212 right here. By the time it broke through, it was literally like over 30 minutes later. It was almost 40 minutes later than it did this, right? And then what if it fucking sold from there? Not trying to find out, right? So you're just protecting your mental capital and fatigue and all that. All right, I think I've really beat a dead horse. And then again, if I was to just keep this simple, it's already in motion. I'd like to see just, some type of shit like that, dude. That's it. I mean, just keep going up. Break the high, retrace back, bounce up for a new high, and then, hey, try to make that range up again. And then maybe it'll kind of like speaker out here, and then kind of it can get ugly, to be honest with you. Um, but right now we're just gonna keep it simple and let the market play out a little more. And I'm not bearish or anything, so I don't see us, doing that unless some real shit is the fan. But now he's got tariffs on everybody. He's already made deals with them, and that's the scam. That's the shit I was telling y'all. If y'all been paying attention, is that think about it. To make all-time highs and to create a new premium, to create new value, they have to keep raising. It's been going up 100 years, right? So with the economy the way it is, we shouldn't be up here, but it still keeps going up. So what they're doing is they continue the show. Forget the inflation and printing money. The idea is now they're using these tariffs as an excuse to say, oh, well, we are creating more money for our businesses and our GDP. So we're gonna keep going up, and that's the story. That's the story. But the scam is to constantly make new highs and keep pushing up. All right, that's it. That's it. That's the scam. That's the scam. Now you get up to, I was talking about also big figure. Where are we right now? We're at the 23,000. So this was 23,000 is right here, by the way. But obviously, 100 above, 250 above, 23,000, 23,500, 23,750, 24,000, right? You get it? So, nothing rocket science. But with this projection here, look at the quarter right there. Wonder what it looks like on the bodies. I already got the body up there. We're just giving an example. It's a low hanging fruit right here. See that? That's a low hanging fruit for sure. 23,750, right? See that? So we're trying to head right up to it. They're going to keep going up to create a new leg and through it. And then we'll look about a retracement when, we talked about July seasonality. It should be going all the way up. And yeah, it is the 9th, and we were down here for a while. But we are slowly going up. And then I'm just looking at the seasonality right now. It's going to it can really speaker out and just start to fan out like I just did in the example with the higher highs and higher lows. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a grind like that. If you want to go take a look in previous price action, this is how I make videos long. Jesus, dude. It's kind of like this price action here. You see it? You see how it broke through and then it just starts doing this? See that? This is what I'd like to see. What I think is going to happen if we get above these high. And what's some more examples that look like that? Maybe if it's really bullish, it'll look like that too. Something like this here. Yeah, that shit looks about right. You see what I'm talking about? So, I'm not even gonna do other projections. Don't need to. But it's been a battle, and we're really honest. It's you keep it more simple. Like that's why I was saying yesterday, you gotta keep things simple. But I need to cut off. You guys, I've already said enough. Look at that's the open from after the holiday on Friday. Right? Yeah. That was the open and that level. I mentioned that level. I said it wasn't that serious, but notice how we're working that area right there. See that? So I was thinking about holding it to there, but I really just couldn't. I also just couldn't. I was just like, all right, fuck, I'm good. Fuck it. But manage the small losses and trust your instinct, plus your chart, right? And I don't know what else I can really say. Look at this. Anyways, you guys take care. God bless.